I'm, I'm. See, we've done part one, part two, and I'm always looking for a part three. And but it will happen. It will happen spontaneously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It will
This
just
is
happen.
part 3.
Part three. Here we go. It's on
Or
record, so
maybe
we're
this might
recording.
be part 5 or 6. I don't know. Maybe this part
Um,
5.
Actually, what I'm realizing is as I said before, all these classes are worthy of transcribing, and there must be format. There is format out there where we could do it straight away. We could actually put the voice activation of the classes into an application called Word, and you've got the book formatting as you're going along, straight onto
Oh,
PDF. But I haven't got my head totally around it. Moda
uh-huh.
Mongol is very good at that application, so hopefully, if he surfaces again, he'll be able to, or somebody will. Anyway,
Okay.
so and then a couple of years later, I had another awakening. I was at that time going to a metaphysical church because I always liked Jesus. After that, I started getting attracted to Jesus, and I went to a church that was talking about Jesus Christ. It's a
Everybody
meta.
mute, everybody mute their microphone.
It was a metaphysical church. They had Jesus and metaphysics together, and I really loved the singing. I feel to share because I've transcribed this quite a few times now. I can almost picture this church, and that's what I feel with the pastimes of Chaitanya. You can picture.
Shamagori, just a second. Shamagori, you're going to have to go off because you can't mute your microphone. So you have to go off. Yeah. So sorry about that, but you got to learn how to mute the mic. But so right now, otherwise he can't speak and it'll reverberate and all that.
She
So
can ask the nurses to help her. There are people around her now. She can ask.
Ask her how to mute the mic if they have. If not, but you need to go off.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still in the hospital, so.
Yeah.
So you ask help there. There are people around you to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Karuna.
At night, Thursday and Sunday, I remember it was so beautiful. They sang these beautiful songs, and a lot of it was from the movie that I also liked at the time, Brother Sun and Sister Moon. They would sing songs of like that, integrate with Jesus. It was so amazing. I felt so much love. Matter of fact, in 1980, this was about 73, 74, something like this. Later, 1980, when I got with Krishna, I made a connection there. I used to lament, God, how come I don't feel this same spirit of Jesus, this spirit of devotion in the temples? It was like, it just wasn't there. I mean, they were jumping up and down and all this stuff, but it was kind of mundane, like an external party or something with God. Kind of like I see in India, people are kind of pious and they just go around and see the deity. It's not like a deep thing.
Yeah, it's like what I notice is kind of a pagan. It feel like pagan. You ever see these pagan rituals and they go around and they have these little pagan gods and they go around and do a mulberry dance, and it seemed very superficial to me. It's when you felt devotion. See, devotion is deep and all that, and I was like, God, I knew there was something with Krishna, but I wasn't seeing anything like a role model there. I saw more of a role model in that little church in Long Beach, and they were singing Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon, and all these songs that invoke devotion, and then I realized that devotion was so important. I started to realize the power of devotion and the Holy Spirit. Yeah. So, I mean, that's when I had that awakening with Christ when I read the Bible and I felt what real love was for the first time. devotion, love, devotion and feeling the love of God and feeling so connected with the Lord. And then I go to ISKCON, and I knew there was something there with Krishna, but I couldn't see a role model. And so I was a kind of a lamentation. It's like, oh, wow, it's a real bummer, Yeah. And then I had this nice lady. She was also attracted to Krishna. Her name was Selta, or is Selta, maybe, anyway, she was attracted to Krishna too and was also into Jesus. First she was into Jesus, and then she got into Krishna. And anyway, she started to get deeper into Krishna and get some experiences. And then we had all this stuff. We went with Narayan Raj, I almost wish I didn't have to go through that, because that was another superficial thing. There's something that was not pure about it. It was not pure. Even back then I knew it was not. It was, and I didn't know because I was actually kind of affected by it. Just it was, and still no role models to show anything other than my own. So I had to go through it and really kind of. See, it's subtle, all this stuff. The Lord's Maya is subtle. Speculation is subtle. And, because we used to notice back then it was like these bees buzzing, when you get into this, when I was in the Narayan Raj thing, it was like these bees buzzing. It wasn't exact. See, I don't know. See, the Lord gives you a standard and you got to figure out what is gold and what is really gold. See, I was kind of like that. That's why I'm preaching like this. People that's hard for them to know how wonderful this is. See, so now we're like a pillar, of this path here. It's strong now because we got it clear. And it has to be that way because everybody thinks other things are the real Bhakti Lata Bij and all that. It's a very rare creeper. It's very pure. See? And when it starts, it has to grow real and get real strong to survive in this Maya, because it's not meant to be here. It's all this bhakti is meant to be covered up. That's what she does. Right? This is not from this world. What do you think Jesus meant when he says, I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world? That's what he's talking about, this kind of thing. He was a pillar of the truth in the world. All devotees are real devotees, pure devotees. See, like a pure devotee, it's not like what people think. Oh, he's a pure devotee because he's so austere and renounced, and he's sannyasi and he's dressed nice. No, this is a very pure thing. Go ahead, Govinda.
Yeah, and you emphasize, Gaurav, something that I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous. You really emphasize it, and it's a pitfall that devotees can fall into. All of us can fall into. What comes out of a person's mouth is an art, is their reflection, is their heart. And if we attach to it, and this is recent from a transcription of a class you shared recently, we get affected. We're actually attaching to their contamination, and it can bring devotees down if they're not strong to this solidity in fact.
Yeah, you see how that happens with people that are not quite strong enough here. We lost a few because of the it's actually contaminated. They get contaminated with this Brahman thing, wanting to be a Brahman. It's like it's a contamination for this kind of bhakti. So a lot of my ex-wife left because of that contamination with that thing. See, in the Narayan Raj group, they're very heavy into rules, regulations, and being like a Brahmin. And she really got into that, be austere and austerity and the pride of it. See, it's all pride. And I saw this like pride. Well, I do nirjal, and stuff like that. They really get into this. And then one of my other disciples who left for that too, he's still in it. And last time I talked to him, it was like, hey man, I can chant a lakh a day. I think, oh, whoopee-doo, you could see, if it was pure, it's not in you. Like, I can do this. I can do the austerity. I can do, they think that's real bhakti. Subtle, false ego thing.
And
so, yeah, go ahead.
They go backwards because the devotees such as Lance and Christina and Mina, they've all made these beautiful testimonies saying, "Go Haridas is the way," or "This happened to me. I had this dream." Go Hari is in the line. They've made these testimonies. They're all out there. I'm going to start putting them out there. Maybe it will help them realize where they were and where they are now. Because I have a little look where they are, and they're not. You often say they've not gone to anything ecstatically.
Yeah, show us that you're doing something better, but nobody's ever showed. My ex-wife didn't show me this. Mina doesn't show me anything impressive. Mahavira doesn't. I just see a bunch of he started to give Bhagavad Gita classes, and the songwriting thing, doesn't write any good songs now. I haven't heard anything that was nice, really. He just lost it. So that's why I say it's not easy to identify this potency. This is how we're doing it. It has to get stronger and it becomes more and more tangible here for us and for others. That's how rare it is. It's rare stuff, man. That's what I had to learn from all of these things. And I don't say this, like now it's time to distinguish and let people know. Otherwise, they'll never know. They'll think Narayan Raj group is always the highest thing. He's the successor. They even now, they go out and preach that. He's the successor of Prabhupada. There'll never be anybody like him and all that. Well, he's not quite there. He thinks he's there, and he was preaching. He was there. He said, I heard him. He says, there's nothing different between me, him, and Prabhupada and Rupa Goswami. And when I heard that, when I was out of that, I said, yeah, that's how it is. He thinks, yes, he must put it. He's not like that. People got to see that. People got to see you got the same ecstasy. And he was, and all this, And then none of this is fructifying in his disciples, the kind of ecstasy we read about. See, that's the indication. So anyway, whatever it is, still, this is the realest it's been since in a long time, because like hundreds of years, because you see it being passed on to others. That's when they acknowledge Lord Chaitanya as actually real, is when it was passed on to others and they all witness, hey man, this is fantastic. What he's got, man, it's not crazy. It's great. See, that's a witness. With Jesus too, he's not crazy. He's not a lunatic or a heretic. This is great. And the same thing here. See? Jesus said, it's always like that. Ye shall be my witnesses. It's always like that. Otherwise, you think the devotee who brings this fantastic gift in is nuts, because nobody else has it. None all in religion, they don't have it. In ISKCON, Gaudiya Math, Gaudiya Smriti, they don't have it. They sure have a good stick with renunciations, some of them. Boy, they can renounce and they can not shave on Chaturmas and do near jals and everything but ecstatic devotion. We just don't see that, but we see all these other things. Go ahead there, Lalita. No? Yeah, we see all these other things other than everything but ecstatic devotion that the Lord brought, right? But you see it's here again, right? It's called revival, Otherwise nobody knows the point of the reason why Lord Chaitanya descends. Therefore, you don't get to go back where he is. That's the whole point, man. It says even Bhagavad Gita, those who know the reason I descend. The reason Krishna descends was there even in Krishna Leela, but it wasn't as clear. Wasn't clear enough. People didn't get it. Some got it. The gopis got it. The residents of Vrindavan got it. The residents of Dwarka got it. They were tasting this relationship. Therefore, they could go to the dhams they were qualified for. They wanted to go to. So they got it. They knew, oh yeah, the Lord came here to taste this. He's given me the power to relish this intimacy with him. Oh, this is fantastic. This is what it's all about. See, they understood why the Lord descended. And they would preach as to their capacity to help others get where the greatest treasure is, right? That's the reason why the Lord descended. So it wasn't clear enough to the public why the Lord descended. Why? Because he didn't preach it publicly. It was more, in Vrindavan, sealed it in Vrindavan, and then kind of squirted a little bit out in Dwarka, but not fully. Only mostly, the wives of Krishna in the chambers, when Krishna would do it, as he wouldn't show fully when he was awake, but when he was dreaming, he wanted to show them something special. And he showed them, he would be talking to the gopis very intimately in this, when he was like sleepwalking type thing. He'd be talking in his sleep, about all these intimate things, and they're all listening like, whoa, man, what was he doing in Vrindavan? They didn't know. Okay? So it still wasn't clear why the Lord came here. See, if you know why the Lord comes here, you don't come back here because you'll be so interested. You'll be so into it also because he came here to give it to you, to make friends with you, so you can know his mind. You and me and everybody else. So that's our work, is just to teach people, to show why the Lord comes, and you will experience why he comes. Oh yeah, he came to taste this. Oh, he came to taste his holy name. Man, is it holy? My God, it is juicy, it is wonderful, it's indescribable bliss.
Otherwise, it's just scholarly. There's so many persons talking about the Goswamis, how great they are. But Lalita Ganga and Johans and River now, the bhakti there is jaw-dropping. It's absolutely jaw-dropping. I'm just like, what are they tasting? Like, I think you touched upon it yesterday. Yeah. What are they experiencing? It's just like transfixed. Like when I saw you from Damsala, I'll never forget. And then it's like, this is just colourful. It's colourful, and Harinam Sankirtan is colourful. These devotees have made it grey, miserable, and this many lifetimes affair, which they will go if they keep on that path. But anyway.
And so when people understand, see, you gotta, when you experience why the Lord has come here, then you know. It's not just you read the Bhagavad Gita. Oh, you see, I studied this. It's on the wall there, my degree. But you don't understand the verse because you don't experience the verse. You don't experience, oh, yeah, I could see why the Lord came here. My God, this name is so fantastic. That's why he came here. I just want to, chant this name. It's so, I'm communing with God. It's like having transcendental sex with the greatest, most beautiful women, thousands of beautiful women. Or men if you're a woman in a body, but it's not materially bodily. It's the spirit body thing. You don't lose energy, you gain energy, you gain a song in your heart. You just want to glorify this.
And this association with devotees, I really realize when I come here, it's so easy to get into this bhav of Prema. It's easier because there's association of a sanger. I chant, and it's beautiful. But when I'm here, it quickly activates, and it helps me. It's still.
Yeah, all of us. Yeah, that's what the Lord. He said, "Where two or more are gathered in my name, there I shall be." This is called, and see, this is defined in Lord Chaitanya's Leela more clear. It talks about that's a manifestation of God in Sadhu Sangha. The Lord comes and you feel his presence more easy. It's like there's a word for that. I forgot what it was, but it'll come. Yeah. So yeah.
These pastimes, we get to know Chaitanya, and they're very vivid, they're very lucid, they're very real, they are eternal. And it's like when I read your life story, I can feel this church and these Christians singing on the Thursday and Sunday. I can feel that mood, that bhav, and it touches my heart. It's just deep. It's so beautiful, accessible through words.
Yes.
Like what Jesus spoke of that, didn't he? Heaven and earth will pass away, and still Christians could really benefit. Well, this heaven, Jesus is talking about passing away, but everyone's glorifying heaven mostly in Christianity is the topmost place. They won't, not all, can't say all, but they won't take advantage of this, what's here, this wealth of your association with ecstatic Christians, the Ram Raj. I mean, I couldn't imagine being in the Sangha with Ram Raj for a year and a half. It's gone for 3 years was okay for me on my journey, but I'm so grateful to Karuna to pass the phone to me that time and access what we have here. There's nothing like this. I don't see anything like this, and people often misunderstand. Oh, they're saying they're the only thing. No, we're saying if there are ecstatic Prema Bhaktis out there, they will love this. But where are they? Because we would like to get together with you if you have got Prema Bhakti, not this talk about we don't show it and we wipe our tears away. Where are you? We've got this social media. Where are you in the world?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They don't know what it is because nobody's shown it. Nobody has identified it. It's just in the book, and therefore they don't understand. They need to see the role models. That's why the Lord came here. They read it. Sarvabhauma read about it in the book before he was converted. He read about it. He knew the symptoms were this in the book. And then he sees it on a devotee, and he began to advance by seeing the devotee that makes it real. Otherwise, just in the book, oh yeah, that happened then, and you don't know the importance of it. Only a devotee experiencing prema knows the importance of it from their own experience. That's the preaching. Oh yeah, prema is fantastic. It's the greatest thing in the world, man. Makes me get out of bed, man. Gives me inspiration. Oh, I love intimacy with God. This just rolls off the tongue of a person experiencing prema. And they emphasize, yeah, man, I tell you, this is important, and look, hey, I got the books now. I'm going to preach it, and I got the order of Prabhupada and Krishna. Hey, man, we're going to let this stuff roll now. Roll right off. We're rolling down the road, man. Oh yeah, you guys can. You can bark all you want, but the procession is proceeding now. Yeah.
It makes me laugh so much how you pointed this out to me, that it's actually praise from those who can't quite glorify you with a pure heart, but like that Guru Sundara said, you're the only dog that Guru Hari has given Prema Bhakti to. Well, actually, there's many persons you've given Prema Bhakti to, and it's wonderful to see them, and all their qualities coming out. This John who's coming back from Germany.
Yeah.
So many. Raimi, Radha Devi. This is just going on and on and on.
Well, it's just again, you get just jump starting people. That's basically it. It's just it's all dormant. It's the dormant love of God in the heart. So it just needs to be awakened. That's why it's always been. If it's going to be an awakening, the message has to come. The word has to come. See, the word. It's the word. It's like heaven and earth will. I mean, these words now mean things to me. They're tangible. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my word won't. You see, what are we living on? The word of God. The word of God comes through his intimate devotees. That's why I love Jesus and I love the prophets. The word coming from them is coming from the Lord's dear devotees. Thus saith the Lord is not a bullshit thing. It's true. The Lord is using them to speak his word in this world. If they're a real prophet, there are a lot of imitators. But if you're close to God, he shows you the difference. It shows you that, this guy's not speaking the word of God. They're just a mundane word. That's why anybody who can identify where the Lord is working through what flute, what devotee in his transcendental manifestation, very easily you get Krishna, because you just stay in that association, you get Krishna. If you don't, then you lose Krishna. That's why you see people come for a while, and then sometimes they get contaminated, and then they go away, and they lose Krishna, the real Krishna. I mean, then they get the bullshit version, the material version, the austere version, or whatever, the renounced version. That ain't the Lord. The Lord, what is renunciation to the Lord and austerities, physical, what's impressive to God is tasting the bhakti presence like he does. That's impressive, because then he can play with somebody like that. He can interact. Otherwise, there's no, You don't even like that. This is why people, they say, oh, Gaur, you're Sahaja. Yeah, well, proof that this is not, these people are getting this same thing and they like it. You know, what kind of authority are you guys out there if you can't identify? See, people coming here are following the verses and they work. See, so those who can identify where Krishna is really working, well, if he's really working here, you get the results you're getting. See? So that's the verse. Oh yeah, you've identified and then you get that result. You become as happy as the guru is. Or maybe even more. It depends, you know, Krishna is always doing a greater thing. So yeah, it's kind of like that. So that's what we're here for. People want to know why Krishna came for two reasons only. He came here to taste his bhakti, which we are. He came here to spread it to others, which we do. So we're doing what he came here. His intentions are here. And if people come here, they'll see, oh, I see. So the Lord did come here today. How come my guru didn't show me this? Because they're not doing it. They don't know what it is. They don't know why the Lord came here. They think he came here to teach a bunch of rules and Varnashram Dharma, or they don't even know. You know, well, I don't know. I just came here to become guru so I can get some money and I can get a nice position and some nice duds. You know? See, so they got the nice duds. That's why they're duds. You know? Oh, you ever see a firecracker? There's no cracking in it. You know, you light it and they call it a dud. It doesn't do anything. You light it, you think it's going to explode. You know, it doesn't do anything. It's a dud. See? You come here, there's fireworks, right? There's something happening. You know?
Yeah. Something always happening in this Sangha. There's Prema Bhakti. Every class is a witness testimony. There's so much variety of testimony to Prema Bhakti that you're showering us with. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Krishna gives the increase. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, you know what? Let's see. Yeah, read a little more. Go ahead.
So anyway, I went to this church and I loved the thing. And I thought to myself at that time, boy, wouldn't this be nice if every day I could have this? But I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to tune into God every day.
Yeah, and you know, this is the thing. People now, they still don't even know how to tune into God at all, in a sense. They don't know how to tune into God on a spiritual platform. See? So I was getting them. I was going to the church once a week. And I was getting this, and I would feel this because I didn't understand these intricacies and stuff. And they wouldn't tell. They don't know. They even if they knew, they probably wouldn't say. And you know, because you know, they got us to go to the church once a week, and we put in our donations. You know, it's always like that, isn't it? Material motivation. Even if they know, they won't tell. So I said, boy, you know, I was there every Thursday and Sunday. To get this, it was so great because they would sing Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon and something devotional, and I would feel happy. And then the rest of the week I'd be waiting. Okay, when's church? When's church? I didn't know how to do it. You know, how it could be a regular thing on my, you know, even not on my own necessarily, but you know, how to make it like a lifestyle. You know, it's like you don't have to have an official church to have this ecstasy. You just have to have the people. Where two or more gathered in my name, there we shall be. That's church. That's what the whole thing with this camera thing. It's fantastic. We're like in the same room. This is our meta thing. You know, you don't even, you know, I used to get when I went to a movie, they had these new 3D things. And I get the glasses, right? Oh, I got to think. Oh, yeah. And I go in there and you see all that stuff, but it would give me a friggin' headache. I take the glasses off and I get just get into the same thing. I don't need to go into the thing, you know, and all. I get a headache. It's probably the same thing with this glasses and the meta. This is a meta thing. This is we're transcend. See, meta means beyond, transcending, and this is more as meta as anybody's going to get, really, transcending the material universe here. That's what we've done and doing. This is the great treasure here. This is real meta. You know, we should call our group the meta group. Meta Krishna. This is Meta Krishna. This is where you transcend to know, to meet the real Krishna, man. Krishna is transcendental. He's spiritual. He's not of this world. He brought the Dham here. He brought his consciousness here. You know, it's like it's, you know, the earth. You know, earth and him don't mix in that sense. There's no jurisdiction of the material universe in him. He just brought it here, and whoever connected it, he just absorbed them into that. It's like a portal. Ever seen those things? You just go close to it and sucks you in there.
And yeah, we've got examples. I shared about this in the class I just did. I mean, Lalita and Johan are such visible examples of they're not coming back here. There's nothing for them in this world unless they came with a desire to preach again.
Yeah.
But they're not of this world. They're just
Yeah, because it's spiritual. We're spirit. See, we're not of this. We're not of the body. The body is related to the material universe. You know, we're of the spiritual body now. So it's awakened, and all we do is it just grows and 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 gets bigger, bigger, bigger. You know. People were doing austerities for 60,000 years just to reach the point that we're at. This is the great mercy of Lord Chaitanya. I'm telling you, there's no avatar that is so merciful and so powerful, you know, to give us a boost to that platform, because we'll never get it on our own like that.
Instead of a big false ego, we have a big transcendental body soon.
Big, yeah. We have truths, you know, more and more clear every day, more absorbing. And here we don't want to come out of it. And to come, they start to get sucked into a greater happiness than the world. I mean, it's the word. What are we living on the word? You know, and my word will never pass away. You know, we're living on, we know that. I know that. The Lord's word will never pass away. That's what makes us immortal, is relishing the word, tasting the bread of the word, man. The word of God, the word. Find the absolute eternal truth. This word is real. Otherwise, you look at the words people listening to, puts them in fear, puts masks on, puts injections of poison in them. They believe that word of limitation. That's the darkness. Huh? You can get out of that darkness. Just come and listen to this word of life. Isn't it? The word of life, bread of life. You notice, what do these analogies mean? Exactly what you see and hear here. See and hear here. These kind of words are real life, everlasting. Oh, I'm ready for it.
Otherwise, you're just wading in that verse that Brahma speaks about material world is just a lot of nonsense. And when you have this gift that's here that you've given us, and now we can gift into River's classes and Lalita's classes, we're always getting this gift. Then the world, we naturally, very naturally, have no interest in the world because it's boring, and people are boring. But
it's boring because it's the world. You know, this is the word of the world. Worldly to do with bodies that don't. They're just dead. It's all dead matter. These movies, these zombies walking around. That's just everybody in the world until you've got the word of life. And you feel the word of life, not just I'm just reading the words of life. And where's the life? There's no life in your word. You know, you're not awakened yet. You need to be awakened. You got to become the word by becoming the path. The path has become a real Shiksha disciple of living awakened persons. Otherwise, what kind of guru are you? What kind of example are you? You're showing people, not misleading them. Are we misleading people? We just say, come to ecstatic devotees. That word alone is life. We are directing you to the greatest place to go. Go and be with ecstatic devotees who know God intimately. That's called Vrindavan. They know God intimately, and there are people here that know God intimately like that. Go there, go there, go there, and be there and stay there. and you'll see all these things. You'll see it. You'll see it, and then you'll feel it, and you'll be glorifying it, because it's the only light in this world is your word. When you realize these things, everybody's talking about dark things, dark, 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 dead, dead, dead. Everything is friggin' dead here except the glorification of the absolute transcendental truth. That's it, man. Always more inspiration, because the one gets inspired. Oh, I love my devotees preaching truth in this world, injecting truth instead of injecting poison. You want to inject poison? Go listen to Fauci's word and Bill Gates' words. You want to be injected with truth and just shoot it right into your heart, man, and become ecstatic forever and immortal the right way. Otherwise, they're going to upload your consciousness into a computer robot, man, with no feelings. And you're going to die anyway, because they're totally insane, because everything's insane here.
It is insanity when it's insanity that people put their trust in something that's just coming out of a box. There's crisis actors down the road in London. What they up to next, who knows? They've got these tents up with international aid on. It's almost predictable what they're going to do next. People running away in a crisis film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all this. Oh, it's so you could see it now. I mean, if you have any awareness, you can see the bullshit that's going on. It's just all, and they get everybody emotional. See, that's the whole thing. Get them emotional, and then they're controlled, and you lie to them, and they believe your lies, and all of that. It's kind of like on this Bitcoin thing, right? Bitcoin is down. Everybody, you know why it's down? Everybody's in fear about this war thing that's been totally created by the Maya. It's designed. The whole thing is designed. And when you know that, then the fear goes, because you know what you think these guys are fear that designed that war, designed the propaganda. I'm not saying nothing's going on. Of course there's stuff. They design it. But they also embellish it and enhance it, because it's by design. Maya she works by a design. She has material motive for what she does. See?
Yeah. I've been in situations recently where I've been around that mantra of the BBC, because of the situation I'm painting someone's house, and after a while I just had to turn the television off. But the way they do it is they chant their mantras all day long. They're chanting and discussing.
Oh, it's chanting the mantra, yeah.
They're chanting a mantra, which is a material mantra. And it's like they're showing these shots, but they're hospitals. There's no devastation, actually. It's just a very tricky. It's the same thing in the this medical military thing we've been living through. The hospital shops. The reports in the hospitals are full, but persons have gone in there. They're not full. They're empty. So
yeah.
Anyway, it's what it is.
Yeah. No. Well, that's the thing. And see, actually, this Putin guy, he's not as bad as they think. They just, because the Maya wants to take it down. See, they don't want this guy to be independent and stuff like that, because Maya doesn't. She wants to naturally control everybody, but he wants to, not to be. See, this is the war between the good and the bad, and the demigods and all of that. The demigods will not win this war. They have to surrender to the Lord. He wins the war. At this time, it's always like this. At this kind of time, the demons, all they can do is destroy. That's all they're here to do, is destroy the world. That's all they ever do. Even though they say other things and they just that's their sacrifices. So ultimately the Lord has to save it, because the demigods can't save it. That humbles them. They don't have the power. Only the Lord has the power, and his actual devotees have the power. He works through actually, in a sense, we're saving the world now. Anybody can. It's like the Lord is waiting just for people just to agree that, oh, let me go and listen to the word over there. That word is not good. It's not bad coming through our Sangha, but it's transcendental. You can transcend all of this. It's not good or bad word here. It's a transcendental word. You can understand what real life is. And if you don't come to the devotees, you don't get saved. That's the bottom line. They're waiting for some pie in the sky to be saved. What? If you're not saved now, you haven't met the real devotee. That's the bottom. The people waiting, the Christians, many Christians, their realization is not deep enough. They're waiting for something out there to save them. Oh, I guess you're not saved yet. Because if you're saved, you're saved. And of course, man, I'm a spiritual being. Now you can't, what? What is this? Rishabh Dev, he was a self-realized, and he saw a forest fire. He says, I just walked into the forest fire and burnt up the body. He says, you just walked into the forest fire. He knew who he was. Some of those early Christians, they were amazing, man. Oh, yeah, the lions, they threw them to lions. They died with smiles on their face. They're saved, really saved. See? But a lot of Christians nowadays, they don't have that assurance. They're waiting for something out there. See, they've lost a lot of the understanding of this.
Yeah, so many can't see the progression of the line, which Jesus progressed the line to his apostles, and Moses before was in the line, but they see it stops. And many Vaishnavas have this idea that the line stopped with Prabhupada. No, the line doesn't stop. The successor is those who bring spiritual success. They are able to awaken back. That's it. That's it. That's you. And Lita's able to do that. And those that listen to River's classes, and Mohans, Ammons. That's it. What's this big material thing? People have got material understanding. The successor, like in the term of a king, then there's a queen, and then that dies, and there's another one. They've got this material, like a politician, prime minister. Their succession is material based. They're not basing it on bhakti, prema bhakti.
Yeah. See, this is a very important thing to understand. Successorship. What is a successor? So if you look back in when Lord Caitanya was here, well, before that, actually, Madhavinda Puri was here. He had a successor. Yet, see, his disciplic line was a little different than the way it is today. Okay? His line, which is actually the same line, his line was, he was an ecstatic devotee from the beginning of starting to preach. He preached when he was ecstatic. And he didn't preach like looking around saying, well, everybody is just, they're not going to get this ecstasy. So he preached the ecstatic stage. He was chanting in ecstasy, doing what we do. Okay. And people got it. Some people, not everybody got it. They had some that were bad disciples. They're not really purified, and they, wanted to teach him and stuff like that. But he preached that stage, and some people got it, like Ishwar Puri. Passed it on. See, the same stage passed on the Lord Caitanya, and he passed on the same stage. See, this is the perfect stage. But that people got to know, what is the successor now of Prabhupada? Oh, somebody just passes on that same stage of rules and regulations?
No.
It hasn't even come to the ecstatic stage where it started from.
Same transcendental blood. Same transcendental blood. That needs to be there.
Yeah. So here it's starting at now again at the ecstatic stage. So this is the real successorship. See, Narayan Raj didn't show that. He said, well, they're saying he's the successor for Prabhupada. Well, where did he success? Where was the success? See, where was showing of improvement? Okay, all right. So maybe mental concepts about Rupa, but still the pride is there. A lot of devotees are more, so a lot of them are more happy than they were in ISKCON, especially now with all that. It's so, in many ways, it's a step up, with him. See? But so you can say, okay, it's succeeded to another thing beyond maybe, the way it was, because it's so dull, and that kind of thing. So there's a little more interest, but success is here. This is the successorship is reached the stage where it started from with Madhavinda Puri. See, people are becoming ecstatic here. See, this is the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. See, so this is more proof of the successorship of the line. See? This is the success of it. I don't consider Narayan Raj thing as a successorship, because where it goes from there is still more pride. It's not going to the next level.
It's got to be spirit,
yeah,
not based on the material reciprocation of what goes on in the material world. Those examples are used: royal lineage, prime minister lineage. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
It's material lineage.
This is bringing it to the ecstatic stage where it's meant to go. There's no this. Otherwise, this is this why it's this real successorship. People might say this guru, that guru. Yeah, what success are you showing beyond where it was? Well, we got bigger temples. See, that's kind of what external success. You know, you got a bigger temple, bigger deities. You know, well, we have more disciples of what? Of, you know, what the same thing that you were taught before. What is that? You know, here we have fewer disciples, but look what kind of disciples, ecstatic ones, you know, popping up. You know, out of say take Narayan Raj's disciples or Radhanath's disciples, they got thousands. But how many of these kind of disciples do they have where they're ecstatic and tears are pouring and laughing like madmen and mad women? How many of those? Not even one I've seen, not one. As I say, I'm open to, you know, if there is, let's see, but nobody will come forward, not one. I'll say even Prem Paroji speaks so well, very renowned. You want to get a guy memorize the verse, he plays kirtan, everything powerful and all thunderbolts and yasi and everybody's in the Narayan Raj group. But not, where is the ecstasy like here in anybody? Not. He's also doing this, and he looks a little intoxicated, which is a good sign. But where is something being transmitted to show us a disciple that's really ecstatic like anybody here? And there's not one that can show that. I'm just frank and honest now. We have no much time now left to really, we got to get to the business, frank, honest, don't know the bullshit of this. Oh, you're so offensive. You mentioned Prem Barojana and Narayan Raj. Well, let's just get it clear, man. There's no time to kind of beat around the bush, man. Hey, do they got it or what? Let's get it down to the nuts and bolts.
We're basing everything on Bhagavatam. You've shown us they are Bhagavatam examples. So
yeah.
It's only actually for their mercy that we're using them as Bhagavatam examples. Why?
Well, otherwise, how are we going to learn? How are we going to know what the real path is? That's what Bhagavatam is for. And you got to have a living Bhagavatam. This is living. This is the Leela of the Lord. It's Bhagavatam example. It's Caitanya Leela examples here. You know, we have the Devananda Pandits are here. They're the Narayan Raj group right there, man. This David, you ain't going to get any more Devananda Pandit than that. It's exact duplicate, actually. It's exactly what it was. He was humble like they are, you know, very, you know, like this, and, but not really. You know, they're ready to, they go against the ecstatic devotees like they did here. You know, they go in and want to steal them and all kinds of stuff, you know. It's like they wanted to do with Prabhupada's disciples, you know, the God brothers, and take them away and bring them into their camp. See, we're better. See, they did that with me, Radhanath also, all of them. You know, I have the you know, these are all my experiences. Lord made sure I had the experiences. So I'm not just speaking out of tooting my horn out of some speculation. I was sitting right there. Radhanath said, "Go away from Gohar." I was sitting right in front of him. I heard him with my own ears. Yeah. Yeah, he's not in the real disciplic line. So what kind of line is that? It's a...
Nobody is helped with lies. Nobody. We are only caressing false egos and not saving souls.
Yeah.
Nobody is helping us. We've got to tell the truth.
Yeah, I got to tell the truth. So this is my truth. It's my experience. And proof that, you know, okay, you have thousands of disciples, but not one like this, because this is the real line. Radhanath and all of you guys, Narayan Raj, this is the real line, because you can't produce one of these disciples, and we have quite a few already. See? And if you can, let's see. I want to see somebody chant the holy name in great ecstatic devotion with the symptoms I read in chapter 23 in Madhya Lila. on the symptoms of love of God, of prema bhakti. I want to see one, and no, they can't come forward with one. Therefore, everybody's being more or less misled. We're not brought to the perfectional stage, except here. Now, I mean, let's get real. It's time to get real, not just, oh, go there, you're so fence. Well, fence what? Well, taking down the fences, man, so you can see the real Vrindavan. Let's take down all the fences so it becomes so clear where Vrindavan is. It's a consciousness, man. It's an experience of a relationship with God, wherever that devotee, he could be in the North Pole chanting in ecstasy. And there's Vrindavan in the North Pole. He could be eating blubber. Still, you see Vrindavan.
Well, when you can't even dialogue with these gurus, you can't even ask them questions. You're never going to get a direct answer. But I would ask them, what is your reason? Because you taught us this. What's your reason for being in the Krishna consciousness? What's your position? What's your reason for being a guru? Can they answer that? Would they answer that on camera? Would they answer that on camera? Narayan Maharaj devotees and these Radhanath. What's your reason for being guru, man? Is it straight out of Krishna's mouth, definition of guru? To take somebody over the material ocean of nescience? Is it that? Because you've got position and you can't do that.
What it is, I'll tell you what it is. A lot of them say, this is their reason and their thing. Well, somebody's got to do the job. This was Sridhar Maharaj. See, Sridhar Maharaj says, we got to have an acharya. We got to appoint an acharya. See, that's why I say he didn't get it. That's why Prabhupada said he didn't get it. You don't appoint acharyas. They're self-effulgent. See, they're effulgent because being empowered by the transcendental Lord. See, and Prabhupada and his disciple and Bhaktisiddhanta didn't see anybody like that. He knew already Prabhupada would come at the appropriate time, and so he just was silent on the thing of an acharya. No, I'm not going to appoint anybody. I'm not going to mention anybody. Okay, but so Sridhar had another opinion. He appointed. They got together and appointed acharya. See, and that is the deal breaker. You start right on the level of idol worship. See, so you didn't pass on. And that Bhaktisiddhanta knew that. He said, I need to stay here 10 more years because they're not getting it. They want to push me away so they can be acharya. Okay? Like he was an authentic acharya. They weren't. Okay? Prabhupada never liked this. He called that sahaja. Prabhupada called sahaja. And when I was in the Narayan Maharaj book, well, you know what dropped my jaw? He was praising these guys that Prabhupada said. All of a sudden, they became heroes. Equal to Prabhupada. Equal. Even the black snake, I thought, there's something. When I kept seeing it, I thought, oh, I see. There's something not clear here. See, that's why I never, I always circled back to Prabhupada because I knew after seeing all this and these supposed successors and everything, Prabhupada had the clearest consciousness. And why I always loved his books.
Yeah, when we was in Mayapur, that Mayapur ISKCON for me, my side of the street is sterile. I don't get a bath. But when I go to Bhaktisiddhanta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, I can feel it now. I get a bath of their love and devotion and what they were about, what we're about. I feel it in that 1-2 rooms, much more than that big thing. It's
because it's there. They leave it there.
Yeah.
It stays
it's there in the floorboard. Yeah. It's there in the books. It's there on the bed. It's everywhere. I kiss the floor in both rooms. Mary Sachi went with me. It's overwhelming. And sitting outside under that banyan tree.
Oh,
I feel it now talking about it.
Yeah. And so now is the time for people to, they want to know what was in Bhaktivinoda's heart and Prabhupada's heart. We're bringing their heart out. Otherwise, you're just in your head, man. That's where it's been so far. And I'm not going to help the devotees. Otherwise, they'll just pass that disciplic line on, which is not really the line. It's the false followers. They're not following the path of prema, like Lord Chaitanya, like Madhavendra Puri, like Ishvara Puri, like Nityananda, like us. See? The proof is in the pudding. You know, this is you can cheat everything. See, you can't cheat like this. This is authentic. You can't cheat. They're trying. This is all cheating all the way up till this time. This is blessed are the pure in heart; they shall see God. We see God every day in His Word, in His name. That seeing God is communing with the Lord, the transcendental Lord, to the point of ecstasy. Otherwise, you're not seeing God. You know, you can't prove you're seeing God. You can't prove that you're a real guru to bringing people to Vrindavan until you can chant the holy name in great ecstasy, where people can see that you're really a real spiritual master of the stature to bring people to Vrindavan. Only those devotees can do it. Nobody else. No one. Zero. That's why even with Prabhupada couldn't bring them to Vrindavan, simply because he couldn't speak what you're hearing here. He could have, but it wasn't time. See, he brought them to the level of Vaidhi Bhakti and getting a little introduction to Krishna, and left the finishing work to us. Well, you know what? You want an unfinished house? Stay at that preaching 50 years ago. And your house is unfinished. It won't be finished until in some lifetime you finish the work by meeting the Shiksha Guru who teaches you all these intimate, ecstatic principles of Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Leela. Otherwise, you're unfinished. You notice why Jesus said, it is finished. See, Spirit's released now, and that's the work he came to finish. And it still wasn't finished. I have more to tell you. See, but once you get the Holy Spirit, as you become open to Shiksha, it's like I was. I got the Holy Spirit. I know what that's about, more than so much. And Prabhupada, see that association? His books, he moved on deeper. Now it's just like, whoa, man, this is really getting good now. It is getting like really real and more real every day. See, could you ever imagine you find the real path and it gets more real every day? Come on, man. Where are you going to get something as good as that? People are still looking for the real path. And they're bumping into walls, and we found it, man. This is real path of God, man. Path of God. Literally, God is our path, His word, His name. And people could see it with their own eyes that we have the path of God. We are in possession. Is 9/10 of the law. You want to be in possession of 9/10 of the law? Okay. Full tense, 10/10 of the law here. The law follows. See, the law is subservient to love of God. See, even that pays obeisances. You Vaidhis, when you pay obeisances to love of God where it is, you're elevated to that platform. Otherwise, the law, the hard law for hard hearts, is in force with you. You want the law, the law of love of God? Well, you got to come here, man. All of you, every sangha, all of the ones I mentioned already. I don't want to mention anything, make more jaws drop. You know, all those sangha. You want more? You want the law of love, of devotion to Krishna? You got to come here. This is the only dispensary I've seen. Otherwise, they're just talking, blah, blah, Radha. Yeah, well, where's the power of Radha, man? I'm into power, and people, you know, this Bill Gates and Fauci, they went to power. I'm also into the power, man. I want the ultimate power. You know, the ultimate power is Radha. She's the power, man. She's a powerhouse, man. She gives me life, ecstasy, intelligence, everything. She's got it all, man. Radha Dasi. Are you going to be a Radha Dasi? Come here. Doesn't matter what body you got, man, woman, you're going to be a Radha Dasi. You're going to see her power, feel her power, hear her power. Really, I mean, I'm totally honest with you, man. She's the reason Lord Chaitanya came here. He wanted to taste her power, relish her power, to understand the absolute truth on the highest degree, man. Yeah. And that's what we preach here. Otherwise, just empty name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. You're not this body. You're not this body. Whoopie-doo. You're not this body. You don't even know it. 40 years, you're not this body classes, and they still don't know they're not this body. You got to know, I'm that body. I belong to that body, that spiritual body of the Lord. We're meant to commune with that body, not this body. I'm not this body. Yeah, well, you'll learn that. You'll know that when you're that body, the spiritual body. Now you're somebody instead of a nobody. These gurus, if they don't have this experience that I'm talking about and showing here every day, they're nobody still. And everybody in Maya thinks they're somebody. That's how it is, man. Everybody in the world, they glorify nobodies. Trump is a nobody. He's nobody. He's literally, you hear the word nobody. The Lord's looking, I don't see anybody there. I don't see any. He only looks at spiritual bodies. This is a dark. He can't even see his shadow. Doesn't look at his shadow, man. He's only looking at where's a spiritual body. I want spiritual bodies. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just a nobody. That's why the Lord showed you, and I show you what the Lord here. I'm here to show you what the Lord. The people, no, my Lord's like that. So how can I be different, man? I just like my Lord. My Lord he looked at people like straw sometimes. He says, oh, he's a guy, some David Underpondit. He's a nobody, man. Let me rip up his book. He's misleading everybody. They think he's a real guru, man. He has no ecstatic devotion. Yes, he's a nobody to my Lord. Yeah, you want to be somebody? Everybody wants to be somebody, but you got to be some spiritual body, right? Does it make sense to anybody out there? Well, if you're spiritually awakened, it will. If you're like one of these gurus, they think, what's he talking about? What kind of guru is that, man? Doesn't even know what I'm talking about because he's a nobody. I'm into somebodies. I want to see somebody guru out there. You know, let me see somebody that's in their spiritual body, man. Then I'm got my head, got my attention. So give me attention. Bring somebody before me. Yeah, you even come and bring the nobodies over here so that we can show the world that they're nobodies. No spiritual. Bring the nobody. They won't come because they know they're a nobody to my Lord, man. You come here. We'll find out if you're a nobody or a somebody, a real body, a spiritual body. Is anybody getting this yet? Is it getting tangible what a body is, man? A somebody? You can bring somebody before here. Let us examine that body to see if it's a real body or if it's a no body, no spiritual body yet. People don't want to come under the microscope here, do they, Lalita?
Nope. They just sit behind their keyboards and just blah, 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 blah. But they can't come FaceTime.
Yeah. We want some bodies here, some spiritual. Put a
Nobody.
Keyboard, blah, 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 but no
my
FaceTime.
Lord doesn't look at these nobodies, man. They're no spiritual body, man. So what is it to God?
But it really emphasizes what Prabhupada said. The face is an index of the mind. Why can't you show yourself, Radhanath and Jaipataka, and FaceTime and dialogue and discuss Hiranandaya like devotees did and have always done together? Amicably.
Oh,
Why?
Vishnu. You mentioned the name. These devotees. Shh, don't give them the opportunity to show if there is somebody or a nobody. You got a spiritual body yet? Let us see. Come here, come let us examine. We're examiners. We're like, see, Maharaj Parikshit was called, it means his name means examiner. He examined everybody to see if there was somebody out there. He only found Sukadev Goswami. Somebody, his whole life, he finally found somebody worthy to listen to.
The problem for them is we can judge about it. That's the problem.
Dear Johannes Stats, that is the craziest symptoms of Kali Yuga. Want to be famous. See, see, they want nobodies as their leaders. You want to be, see, if I pay money, I can become famous. You know, see, like they actually put that there, like that's supposed to be attractive. Want to become famous, buy followers, primes, and views. They think that's it. See, now that is, people actually believe in stuff. Want to buy? Yes, yes, I want to buy followers. Yes, yes, I want to become famous. Yes, yes, that's why you got those kind of gurus out there. They wanted to buy followers. They need Prabhupada's books to buy followers for themselves, not for Prabhupada. Yeah, they're put themselves. You know, I'll tell you to be honest with. Since we're being honest, right? They had told me I had to get initiated, so I did. Yeah, initiated by Tamal Krishna, and immediately I felt blocked. I didn't know it. I didn't know clearly because I was, mesmerized and, bewildered in that there. But later on, I left and I started to get connected again. After some years, I had to kind of cool off, take a trip around the world, make money, go into business. And then when I did that, and then I came back to Prabhupada, life again. And then I was traveling around. I told the story before, and you probably got it in there. And then I stopped in the temple. I wanted to share my joy of being back with Prabhupada, being his servant. I was clear about it. Just bought books. I gave up my business, my $1 million business. I just gave it up, gave it away, and I just, now I'm a servant of Prabhupada. I just wanted to share that. And the temple president, my godbrother in Dallas, and he was morose, man. He didn't like me saying that. He was like, don't you think you should go back to your real guru? Like that, really morose, index of the mind, right? I thought, well, did I do something wrong? Maybe I did something. And boom, I lost the bliss. I lost the connection and everything. I said, wow, I got it, man. That's what happened before. He was in a way. See, he's not the real connection Prabhupada was for me. See? Devotees don't know that because they're still on the Vaidhi. They can't distinguish between gold and iron or something. They can't tell the difference. So that you put anybody that's just dishing them out rules and regulations. See, here we're dishing out ecstatic worship, right? Hey, but this dish they've never tasted. Their gurus don't show them this. None of them. Narayan Raj, I'm sorry, no shows. No dishing out this. No dishing out. You ever dish out ice cream, man? It tastes good. Oh, man, they're dishing out the ice cream. People don't know. Hey, man, over there in the Lord Chaitanya's Amazing Grace place, they're dishing out ice cream. Tasting, oh, man, every day dishing out ice cream. Oh, really? Oh, well, we don't know what ice cream is. They're dishing out rules, regulations, and ceremonies. And, they're dishing out unhappy faces looking like this. Where do you see devotees ecstatic, happy, juicy, speak their minds? Freedom. Isn't this freedom? I can say, anything that's true. I don't care, Too bad that you believe in illusion, that you believe lies is truth. I like the truth, man. I like my experience. I like my truth. I like Krishna's truth. He likes my truth, It's real. It's real. People get ecstatic, liberated. That's all I care about, man. I like to be with ecstatic people. I don't like to be with miserable people.
This is Srimad Bhagavatam. You can come and ask questions. More than Srimad Bhagavatam, but you can ask questions. It's facilitated here. It's not, oh, no, prasadam now, no questions. You notice the way the talks in ISKCON is always right up until it's prasadam. No time for questions. Don't ask difficult questions. We won't answer them. Prasadam now. Just accept our narration, just like the government. What's the difference? I don't see any difference.
You know what the fault in that is, Govinda? The fault is they don't taste this. This is the prasadam. See? There's no waiting for prasadam. We're eating it here. See, the word of God, this is why you come here and you become I don't care who you are. You can be a food service worker like Amy and you love what's going on here. You're an eternal person, man. You're a liberated soul. You're doing what the highest devotees do. You like to hear Hari Katha, just like Maharaj Parikshit. What's the difference between Amy and Maharaj Parikshit? He was also glorified. Oh, these words of Shukadeva are so great. Oh, they're so fantastic. What's the difference between her and and Maharaj Parikshit? He went back to Godhead. She's going back to Godhead too. That's all it is. You like that. And Radhanath will be waiting. He'll get in there soon, but not as soon as her, because she comes here and listens to this. This is fair. You show me anything more transcendental than this in this world. Any more freewheeling ecstasy, freewheeling deliverance from the cycle of birth and death so easily. Okay? That's why they get in later. She gets in sooner.
Isn't it that verse that Jesus said, isn't it? The last shall get in first.
Yeah.
In the eyes of society, we're the last. We're just the outcast. We're not worth associating with.
Yeah.
We've got the bhakti and we're in Vrindavan and we're sharing it. And these nice people like Amy accept it.
Yeah. It's just like Jesus. Do you remember that verse that Jesus said? He said, even the cheerleaders and the food service workers will get in before you Pharisees, you sinners. Even the cheerleaders and the food service workers will get in. Yeah. Even Mayavati will get in before you, simply because she likes our classes. She told me, I like your classes. I like you. So, it's you got Lord Chaitanya was like, whoever liked him, that was the main thing, man. He would deliver anybody who liked him. The drunks you think the Lord's incapable? You think this is incapable? You think Gaura Hari Das is brought here for incapability? No, we're here. The Lord is working behind the scenes, man. Yeah, we're here to do what people are incapable of. Oh, well, bring us those you're incapable of delivering. Bring them over here. We'll finish the job. That's our work. Why are you hanging out with incapable persons that just all they can do is put a big heavy yoke? See, Jesus said, my yoke is light, my burden is light, and my burden is light, and my yoke is easy. See? Over easy. You want to get over it easy? Yeah. And there's no burden here. I even have lighter because I got Jesus behind me. I got Lord Chaitanya. I got no burden at all. This is fun now, man. I love delivering people. It's like I totally relate Sachi, how she loves to be baby deliverer. I love delivering babies. It's easy for me. It's like easy for her. She's experienced. She's done it. I've got a lot of experience under my belt. You come here. It's easier now. I've been practicing for 5 years now, delivering people. It's great, man. You got an experienced midwife here, man. We do a natural birth here, and they come out crying happy tears here, right? Isn't that right, Lalita? Happy tears. And they start laughing just like little cute babies, We don't have to, sometimes we slap them in the butt to get them going, but that's, hang them upside down, shake them around like they did with Lord Chaitanya. Sachi would swing him around, and they like it, man. He's like, "Whoa, we're swinging in the wind." Yeah. All right, so let's change it up a little bit here. Let's what time is it? It's 6:44. Oh, it's already getting late, man. Time flies when you're having a good time. Let's take a little break now. Yeah, I'm going to rest the voice and also let's just meditate on all this here. We get a lot accomplished in 2 hours today. I think we went a far distance, covered a lot of ground. See, covered a lot of ground with ecstatic truth. All right, so thanks, Govinda, for coming, and Lalita, and thank our audience here. If anybody's missed any of this, you can watch the replay. And we'll come back with maybe another puppet show. Let's see. The guy gave me his number, so I'm gonna get some more puppets. He had all kinds. He said, my wife makes all kinds of puppets. And she had one that was really, I should have got the expensive one, but it was like, oh, yeah, well, it was more than the others, not that much. It was a Mexican guy. It's a little Mexican guy with a poncho. Oh, that would be really interesting. We'll see what comes out of his mouth, man. Okay. Hare Krishna, everybody. We'll see you soon.